Fellow Ambazonians, good morning. Today is Monday, April the 29th, 2024. I'm sending this message which will be titled, Evil is Evil, no matter who commits it. We have seen in this struggle an attempt by some of our comrades to give excuses for wrongdoing just because those acts are committed by people dear to us or those we like. But what we need to understand is that for any acts that are committed by the enemy on our people and which are very much condemned, even if those same acts are committed by people dear to us, we have the moral responsibility to condemn them as well. Because I'm seeing a tendency from some of us to look the other way or enable the commission of some evil acts, especially on our own very people, because those acts are committed by those we favor. So, for example, if we condemn stealing, if we say stealing is wrong, and you came across someone who is trying to steal from someone else, you have the moral responsibility to condemn that as well. You cannot say, well, since this is being committed by someone I like, I'll just look the other way. When you behave that way, then there's something wrong with your moral compass. Then there's something seriously wrong with your moral compass, because we know that north is north, south is south. Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter who commits it. Again, another example, if you came across someone raping a woman, you have the moral responsibility, especially when you have the means, to make sure that that crime is stopped or prevented. But when you fail to prevent it from occurring, you are as culpable as the rapist. Worse still, when you enable it. When you enable it, you are just as guilty as a person committing the act. When the actions of a supposed liberator are the same as those of the oppressor, they are supposed to be the oppressor, they are supposed to be fighting against, then there is something seriously wrong, either with the understanding of the liberator of what his or her responsibilities are, or he or she is a hypocrite. Let me say it again. When the actions of a supposed liberator are not different from those of the oppressor, then it shows that the supposed liberator either is ignorant of what his or her responsibilities are, or that he or she is a hypocrite. Now, some of us in this struggle, in their effort to belittle the atrocities of the ADF, have tried to characterize them as mistakes. They have tried to characterize the crimes that have been committed by the ADF as mistakes. So I'm compelled to draw us to the definition of what a mistake really is. What is a mistake? When you say something is a mistake, what is it? I think we all understand that a mistake is something that is done unintentionally, that you did not intend to do it, but you did it however. And you normally do it once, and once you make a mistake, it is normal to regret it. That means you have to regret making a mistake because it was not intentional, right? And when you regret it, the next thing is that you strive not to repeat that mistake. First of all, it was not done intentionally. Once it is done, you regret it, and then you strive not to repeat it. Something that was done unintentionally, that's what a mistake is. When you keep making the same mistake over and over and over, it is no longer a mistake, especially when you're doing it willfully, voluntarily, making the same mistake over and over and over. It is no longer a mistake. It is a habit. It is a habit. When an individual is incapable of self-discipline to correct a bad habit, it is therefore the responsibility of society to do it for him or her. That is why we have prisons and other forms of discipline for wrongdoers. The ADF has demonstrated over and over and over that it has a bad habit or bad habits that must be corrected. Society needs to help them to correct these bad habits, because so far they have demonstrated that they are either unwilling or incapable of doing it themselves. They have demonstrated that they are either unwilling or incapable or incapable of correcting these mistakes themselves. For example, when you use violence or the threat of violence to extort from poor mothers and fathers who can barely survive, and you do it in the name of a liberation tax. Worse still, when you do it because you want to use it to fight an enemy, and yet you refuse to engage the same enemy for which you collected the so-called taxes, you are nothing but a thief. Yes, you are nothing but a thief, and the population has the right to treat you as such, a thief. It is even much worse for those who are sitting in the diaspora and benefiting from these crumbs gathered from these poor peasants, these poor parents back home. And these crumbs are gathered and sent to you to live your life in the diaspora. You use this same money to buy your food, pay your rent, feed your children, clothe them, and you expect your offspring and good tidings to follow you for these crimes against these innocent people? No, I would not wish that on my own children. God forbid. So when people come out and they criticize these behaviors, which are conducted by people sitting in the diaspora and encouraging unenlightened young men back at home to engage in these evil acts, some people term it as hatred. But as I said initially, evil is evil, and we have a moral responsibility to condemn it. It is even more sad when some of us sit by and we want to give excuses for these things by saying, oh, we shouldn't criticize because these are our brothers, because these acts are being committed by our brothers. And the question again is this: are you supposed to condemn evil because it is evil, or are you supposed to condemn evil because of who is committing it? Should you allow evil to persist because it's being committed by your brother and only condemn it when it's being done by someone else? Again, anyone who will stand for such acts of criminality because they were committed by someone dear to you, there is something wrong again with your moral compass that needs correcting. So, fellow Ambazonians, I'm saying this, that we all have the moral responsibility to stand up and condemn what is being done in the name of our struggle, that is tarnishing the image of our struggle and demoralizing would-be supporters. If we want this struggle to succeed, then we must do everything possible to stop these acts of criminality that are being done in the name of our struggle.